We ended last time on the very best of notes. The future could not look any clearer, any brighter, any more perfectly splendid. Adam and Eve are home, and nothing is going to change that. Or is it? Adam and Eve are about to learn one of the most heartbreaking lessons any of us can learn. We don't realize what we have until it's gone. For Adam and Eve, home is about to be gone. God had designed a perfect home for Adam and Eve, and they could live there forever if they followed the one law given by God. You must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Obey this one rule for your own good and enjoy paradise forever. But you probably already know what happens next. The deceptive words and enticing promises of the enemy lurking in the shadows. The attractive sight and alluring scent of the forbidden fruit. The irresistible desire to taste and possess what lies beyond the boundary of goodness. It was too much for Eve. She chose to reject God and risk the consequences, and Adam followed. The forbidden fruit was so luscious, so sweet, so juicy when they took their first bites. They excitedly chewed it with their perfect teeth. They hadn't even swallowed it, and already they desired a second, bigger bite. But then, the moment it hit their stomach and began to digest, they knew something was drastically wrong. They felt something they had never experienced, something they didn't have a word for. They were sick. They vomited up the fruit. They were horribly sick. Sick with shame, regret, and fear. But no matter how much they wished it, the sickness wouldn't leave. They had chosen to disobey God's one good law, and now they must endure the consequences. For God had said, when you eat of it, you will surely die. Like Adam and Eve, have we not all chosen to disobey, to rebel against God's good law, to reach out, take hold of the forbidden fruit, and feast upon its pleasurable flesh, only to discover its putrid, cursed aftertaste? I have experienced, in my own way, what Adam and Eve experienced that terrible day in paradise. There was a time for me when life on earth was almost perfectly wonderful. I had a beautiful wife, 2 lovely young children with a third on the way, a job in youth ministry, a biblical studies degree from an excellent college, a flawless reputation, and aspirations of one day becoming a professor. I was almost in paradise, almost in Eden, almost in the garden in the east, almost at home on this earth. But then, I rebelled against God's good law, reached out, and took hold of the forbidden fruit, and tasted its nectar. The cursed after effects were almost as immediate for me as they had been for Adam and Eve. One moment, life was perfectly wonderful, and the next it came crumbling down into a heap of rubble. I spent the next 5 years, in what could have been the prime of my life, filled with fear, shame, and hopeless regret. I spent seemingly endless time locked away in prison, miserable and alone. I had followed the path of my own choosing, and it led to a place I did not want to go. It led me far away from paradise, far away from Eden, far away from the garden in the east, far away from home.